Hello, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have my artist ensemble on today. I'm gonna make art. It's in a bit. So yeah, dress the part when you're making art. But welcome, welcome. Let's pull some cards. Let me clear the cards and see how everyone is feeling. Happy Monday. How was your weekend if you celebrate those things? Hello, good morning. Good morning. And today we're talking about rebranding failure. I put on I put on some frankincense. It always just makes me feel woo. Always makes me feel woo when I put on frankincense and grounds me back to earth. I talked about that in one of the All Signs readings. Hey, good morning. Where during, air sign seasons, it's good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. During air sign seasons, we're in Aquarius season right now. The frankincense, it all just hits in the right spot, and the sage just is going. It's happy Monday, happy new moon this week. How oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And how's everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling right now? It's energy is shifting. Thank you so much. It's really I was thinking thank you, thank you, thank you. I was thinking about hey, how things are shifting in a way, and yesterday, the focus of the video came through. We're thinking about failure, busy week, hey, good but tired, yes. Dreams have been wild. Anyone else? Anyone else? Dreams I know I did a whole video on it and we talked about it, but dreams have been cuckoo. Hey, Joss, welcome, welcome. So it feels like we're all going through these massive shifts and changes. I feel as though I was emailing with another subscriber. Good. Okay, thank you. Thank you. This morning, I'm a bit out of my depth. Also, yes, super wild dreams. And that I love that phrase that you just said. I'm a bit out of my depth. It's we know we can swim. We know we can do this. We know that whatever we're in, we've just never done it before. We've just never experienced it before. Whatever it is that we're in. It's kind of like it's still going, dude. It's still going. It's still going. So it's that's for me, that's for you, that's for everyone. My dreams have been supportive of what's going on in my life. That's beautiful, Joss. I'm so celebrating that. That's beautiful. It feels as though I'd say in the past week, every single dream that I've been experiencing has its own theme, whether it's a parallel of this life. There was one that was really intense, a little bit scarier. And I just was like, I'm so glad that I don't have to live that in this life. I'm so glad that that's over. There has been a lot of themes of fires in my dream as well. I don't know if that's just representative as to what's going on the planet right now in the United States, or if that has a deeper meaning. I don't know. I haven't checked my dream book yet if that's something that is that has like a deeper meaning if there's fires. But I love that the death card came out first. And we have to remember this is the Scorpio card. So it's like we're not no one's dying right here. And the white rose that death carries is literally behind everything. So this could be ego deaths. This could be us leaving behind imposter syndrome, leaving behind a smaller version of ourselves. And I wanted to talk about that phrasing where it comes to failure, when it comes to those, like big dreams that we have that we've labeled as big. And we go back to the universal law of comparison, which is the room that I'm standing in. It's a good sized room compared to the lavatory, compared to the toilet room is a big sized room. Compared to the biggest room, the biggest stadium, it's pretty teeny. It's pretty teeny tiny. But I had a dream about a snake. I wasn't aggressive. I'm literally afraid of snakes. Interesting. Interesting. Bodhi, this could be you leaning into your fears. This could be you leaning into that. And really the transformation of the snake, different things like that. That could be you shedding an old version of yourself, shedding those snake skins. I always, the phrase and the image that my higher self always gives me is what's underneath that. What's underneath that? What's underneath that? And that happens like that visual of I'm seeing her and she's like, Sarah, what's underneath it? What's underneath it? It's always like I'm the player on the field and we have our own little shorthands. And I'm like, what does this mean? Can you just tell me what this means? It feels as though this really can go with what you're experiencing, Bodhi. And this can really encompass, Melanie, what you're experiencing as well, which is you can handle what you're in. You might not know how to do it. And I think that that's something that when we're stepping into a new realm, when we're stepping into a new reality, when we're ascending as a human collective. We've never done this before. There's no blueprint. There's no, this is how it's going to look. This is how it's going to feel. This is how it's going to sound. This is how it's going to taste. None of it's going to make sense to any of us. So I love that. I love this. When the world comes up reversed, I really enjoy this because the world in and of itself, this is the last major arcana card. So it can say like, oop, you've finished a cycle and you're going on to a new one. This to me, and oh my goodness, it's in one of my tarot books. It's literally right here. I love this book. Rachel Pollack, she's written 78 Degrees of Wisdom as well. Two of my favorite books. She speaks to when the world comes up reversed, that we're setting a solid foundation. So whatever it is that we're working towards, whatever it is that's going on, when the world comes up reversed, things might seem a little placid for a little while. They might be setting this solid foundation. Been very comfortable asking for help and saying no to certain things. Melanie, this is huge. This is huge. When we say no to things, it's a resounding yes for ourselves and for the person that you're speaking to. So someone's offering something, or even we'll just go super simple, like someone's inviting you to lunch. I don't want to go. So I say to that person, no, thank you. That's healing the people pleaser or any other trauma from any sort of lives, any sort of inner child, inner teenager, any sort of trauma of people pleasing, of all these different things. But when we say no, that's saying to myself and to that person, I want you to have a resounding yes. This is not a resounding yes for me. So that makes it not a resounding yes for you. So I'm giving you the opportunity to go find your resounding yes. It's kind of, I couldn't remember the exact phrase, but it's perfect when it comes to failure and kind of the encompassment of what I wanted to talk about today, which was, what is it? Rejection. Someone had mentioned it was a rejection is God's protection. And that's saying no means I'm just going to continue down. I'm just going to continue down, and reminding ourselves it feels odd and awkward from, traumas, big T, little t's that we've experienced, that, we're standing in our sovereignty. We're standing in our power. You standing in your power does not take power from me, doesn't take power from anyone else. It actually gives power to the world and to the universe so that everyone else can stand in their own power. It's a beautiful thing. And so I'm really grateful for you sharing this discomfort. And it's offering other people in this group the chance to say, wow, I'm feeling the same thing. I'm feeling a very similar thing. So you're not alone, Melanie. I'm celebrating you. Lean into it in ways that feel really comfy, in a sense of, okay, so I got an email or I got a text message. I got that invitation. Take as long as you need to respond. Take as long as you need. Draft it out. Write the whole thing out. Take some of the exclamation points out. I've done this numerous times. The world will go on because of the little telephones that we have, and because email is so available. It is going to trigger us to say, I have to respond right away. I have to say it right away. I have to do it right away. Beautiful. I love being able to find my voice. Saying no feels so good when it feels right. That is so amazing. I really love it. Thank you for sharing with the group this, because it's the more you do it, the easier it will become, and the easier the invitations will start to come, the easier more of when you say no, if you're not really sure what you're supposed to be doing, when you say no, or a no is a resounding yes, even if the yes isn't there yet. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So what else do we got? The Wheel of Fortune. We have to remember with the wheel that the universe, God of our understanding, turns the wheel. We're here for the experience, but sometimes the outside is outsiding. Sometimes the experiences are experiencing. And so when we, this is the bottom of the deck over here, cut ourselves free from the bonds that we used to experience and say, that's just a no for me. That's okay. There was, someone had commented in the All Signs reading, I want to say it was Pisces, where they had canceled, they said no to a plan and they felt really bad about it. A friend of mine were chatting last month and she said it so eloquently where, say we have lunch plans and you message me in the morning and you say, "Hey, I really can't come. I'm not feeling my best. You don't have to explain it to me. I don't want you as my friend across time and space as the cafe to ever show up feeling less than. That means that I'm not a safe friend for you." That's my perspective. If you ever show up as less than, feeling like, "Oh, I felt obliged, I felt like I had to do this," then I'm not a safe friend for you. That doesn't feel good for me. I don't ever want you to show up if you're not feeling okay. I don't want you to, like, never, never. That speaks more to me as a friend than it does to you. I want you to feel safe to say, "I can show up, I can't show up." Yeah. Yeah. Really releasing attachments to the outcome and saying the highest and greatest good is working itself out effortlessly. God's working on the back end for all of us and making sure that saying no, you're, healing all those past things that we talked about, but also at the same time learning to trust your intuition, learning to trust, like, I've gone to the grocery store before. And right when I get to the door, it was like a big X where it's like, "Don't go in there, girl." And I just about face and I just turned home. I'm like, "Okie dokie, just needed the drive. I don't need to ask questions anymore. I don't need to know." I've gone down the path before and I have not listened to my intuition and I've not listened to the God of my understanding. And I have spun spells and done all this thing that literally was just like, "Oh, yeah, this is why your intuition was speaking to you, child. Listen to it. Listen to it." So, really, I want to honor that to you because across time and space, every single one of you are effortless to love, effortless to understand. And I want to understand how to be a good friend for you. I want to understand that. It's why, oh gosh, the turning around is where I get stuck so often. Justin, you trust your intuition. I'm going to shake this at you right now. You trust your intuition. You have a very strong intuition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't have to know. I don't have to know what it is. It's literally like the universe is saying to you. It's our brain that says otherwise. And I've given this image many times before. A deer is out in the woods in the morning and it's just like in the dew and it's just eating berries and it's just so in bliss. And they sense that a wolf is around. What does the deer do? It gets out of there. It books it. It books it with the one little turn up of one of the ears is gone. But us as humans, we say, like, I have met wolves before and I know what to do in this situation. No, it's totally okay. I'm gonna be the one to change this wolf. Yep. Nope. No, it's so okay. Yeah, it's really okay. I'm eating my berries and this is what I decided to do today. I'm just not gonna listen to my intuition. I'm gonna chill here because I have changed wolves before and I'm gonna do it again. That's our brain instead of learning how to trust our intuition. We're in the North Node going into Pisces. A lot of this, dude, I've been there, I've done that. And it's like many a different, it's kind of like when you're in relationships or you attract the same type of friend and you have falling outs with them where you're like, "Oh, it's me. I keep not listening to my intuition." Many a times I've been there. And so I'm speaking from I statements here to say I've had those moments of I'll be in meditation, I'll be in prayer, and I'll ask the God of my understanding, like, what do I have to shift? What's out of alignment? And I'll see like a person that's in my life, or I'll see a job, or I'll see a place that I'm in. First thought, my brain is like, kaposh. That's silly talk. No, 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 ma'am. Absolutely not. No, I'm fine. Even though it takes me 3 days to build up for this job and 3 days to build down from it, it's, it's totally okay. Yeah, totally okay. Hi, Susanna. It's so good to see you. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. And so let me see. Yeah, a little chugga chugga. I love when this comes up reversed as well. This could be, again, solid foundation. He's in it for the paper. He wants that. He wants to make good money. He wants things, and it's a little chugga chugga. So if it's reversed, it's saying this could be big money's coming, big things are coming, or I'm going into a place where I'm asked to pause, go back to my intentions, go back to my why, go back to what is it that I'm doing and why? What's the big image? We are in between cycles. I didn't even see that this guy was in there. Oh God. Oh God, we already talked about you. These are beautiful. These are beautiful. So the intention for the video today and talking about rebranding failure is I want us to look at things that really aren't slapping or getting used to the sets and reps of it all. What do you mean by that, Sarah? There've been, on Instagram, I'm not on TikTok, but on Instagram, there's like an archive. So you can see where a year ago or a few years ago, something that you had posted comes up. And I saw a few years ago a video of when I first started to do the all signs readings. And it was funny. It was like I wasn't doing the hands view. I had the grid on the table and I had this behind me, but I was just chit-chatting with you like this, but I was reading it. And now I know that we're all visual hands-on learners around here. And I looked at it, and at first I was like, it was so cringe. I was like, oh my God, girl, look at you. Look at you. But then I looked at how long ago it was. And I said, Sarah, you've been doing this for a really long time. I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. You've been putting in the sets and reps. You've been getting used to tapping into this collective, all 12 signs. You've been doing this for a while. Look at how clear your channels are now. Look at how comfortable you are, showing your grid and really showing the world the way that you do things. I had a very beautiful subscriber send me a picture. She had made her own grid at home where she had crystals and show of hands, does the visuals help you as well? They really help me. They really help me. It's kind of like the getting into the map type of a thing. Whenever I'm like lost in a city, I'll have to point the map in the direction that I'm standing, and I'm like, okay, I see it here, and then I see it there. I gotta get like into the map. And so I do the same thing when it comes to my astrology readings. And I'll do this all the time. I'll set up the grid and I'll see where I'm at. I do it for the new moons, the full moons, the year aheads, all different things, all different things. So I want us to get used to the sets and reps. I'm so happy this is resonating, Melanie. Thank you so much for saying that. 100% she's saying. And this is for a lot of people when you step into doing, more public work. Oh my God, yes. Especially when I'm doing readings. Yes. Suzanne, I'm so glad to hear that. It's really getting used to doing the readings, getting your hands on the readings, reading for the collective, doing astrological readings for people. That's the best way for you to get better at it is the sets and reps. You got to stinkeroo at it, or at least be able to say, to this day, I'm keeping my book. I love looking at other people's perspectives. I love studying the tarot and getting into the intricacies of it. I had a friend, fellow subscriber and client that messaged me yesterday because I was putting out into my Instagram, like, what are we reading? I know I posted it here as well. What are you studying? What are you learning? Like, what's coming up for you? What are you just fascinated by? It's so I love that. That book is on your desk right now. It's such a great book. I love the sass of Rachel Pollack. It's a good one. It's one of my favorite reference books. And Rachel Pollack, like I'd said, she wrote the 78 Degrees of Wisdom as well, which is one of the first tarot books that I ever had. But I love her sass, and she's just like, yeah, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. The synergy, I love that. I love that. And so, whether you are already doing the spiritual work, whether you're reading for people, just stepping into it, you're not really sure how to put yourself out on the public stage a little bit, sets and reps and getting used to it and getting really, really used to it. We can get so mad at ourselves for saying, like, oh, I posted something and then I didn't get the hundreds of thousands of subscribers, or I didn't get, all the super chats, or I didn't get all of this, I didn't get all of this. it don't matter. Continuously showing up every day as that future version of yourself. And this is where I think the failure kind of comes in, because I want us to rebrand it. Just like the introductory to this energy around now is we can't play small. And so if something is failing, again, rejection is God's protection, or is protection. It doesn't have to be God if that's not your language, could be universe, guy, whatever is your language, it's all the same thing. What is that big future image? And I've recommended we did a whole reading, a whole all signs reading for the North Node being in Pisces. This is from now, January 2025, into August 2026. We can set some longer range goals. But I love that bookend. I love that bookend because the end of 2025, like I talked about in the introduction for 2025, we're dipping our toes into the new energy. So Neptune goes into Aries and then retrogrades back into Pisces. Saturn goes into Aries, retrogrades back into Pisces. Uranus goes into Gemini and then retrogrades back into Taurus by the end of 2025. But when the North Node goes into Aquarius, they're all fully in their new signs. All three of those big heavy hitters. So this is a really nice bookend. And August 2026, yeah, every single one of you can hop paradigms, myself included. We can all, that's a long enough range for every single one of us to allow our future vision, our manifestation, and our imagination to all co-create. We can view something at that end. So I really want us to look at when it comes to failure, this is where a little bit of time and energy spent viewing it from above can come into play. Where it says, if there's a big theme that's just not slapping, is it that I'm not putting in the energy, the effort for it? Am I only doing it like once a week or once a month? And that's why it's not hitting. Where like I talk about my Italian all the time. Like, why isn't the language just downloading into my brain? It's like, oh, because you're not spending enough time studying it. That's probably it. That's probably it, girl. So that to me is the failure is coming from my lack of attention. But if it's something that I'm doing every single day, I'm putting energy into, I'm putting effort into, and it's not working, I want you to ask yourself, is what I'm working on a part of that big, compelling vision, to use Tony Robbins' language, that future image, that future self image? And so if it's not working out, that could be you trying to say, oh, no, I got to play small right now to get there because that I can't visualize yet. I think that this is resonating what I'm saying because it's taking a little bit of navigation, but I want you to look at areas of your life right now, whether it's I'm just stepping into this work. Let's go to, because I know so many of my clients are just stepping into, they've been pulling tarot for themselves. They're very spiritual people, and they're either integrating that into their current business or they're starting to step into, I'm going to be doing this professionally. I'm going to be doing this for people. Sets and reps. It's not glamorous. It really isn't. But I promise you, in the same way that when we're exercising, we take a before picture. You don't post the before picture the second you take the before picture. You got to be in that, but know where you're going. Does that make sense? I really feel like this is important for us to look at and kind of unpack right now with the new moon that we're having, with the North Node going into Pisces. This is really important for us to all support each other and to say, like, I'm so happy this is making sense. I'm so happy. So look at some areas of your life. I would say honestly, just one or two, and that's it. And say, I've been focused on this for so long and it's not working. Is it that I'm not putting in the steps and reps? Could I view it from above and take my emotions out of it, like my Italian, and be like, okay, you could probably just study every day. Yeah. 100%. I'm at the roadblock on what my sets and reps are, fitting for mid Saturn return. Oh, buddy. Yeah. Saturn returns, they are just, I love Saturn. I mean, my moon is Capricorn. So like my intuition is run by Saturn, where I'm like, crying still. You can write a book about this and monetize it. Are you writing, Justin? Journaling, even just sitting in meditation and contemplation. There were times, this could actually be something that you do right now. This could be a recommendation where There were times in my life where I had just exploded my entire life. It was kind of like the beginning of 2021 where I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, was pretty much borderline homeless, and just had nowhere to go, no money to spend. I sat in meditation and I was channeling and I was learning how to channel and I was learning how to connect with my guides and learning how to not let my inner teenager come out when I was channeling. I was learning how to be that clear channel. And so I wouldn't be the channel or the astrologer that I am right now if I wasn't learning and studying. I would wake up podcast after podcast after podcast. I know I'm hearing it too, where I'm like, my Sunday addiction is podcast after podcast after podcast. It's, part of my trauma response, but I am aware of it now and I'm learning how to relax. The awareness doesn't always help. I started making notes in a small journal of my daily actions and stopped when I lost myself in the shadow and shame, and loving yourself where you're in there, being in what you're in and recognizing it's okay to be in what you're in. It is so okay. There's a great phrase that I had mentioned a while ago, which is God doesn't bless where you want to be, he blesses where you are. And I use the term God. So if it's universe, it's not, it's just, I have a Catholic upbringing. So for me, God is very all encompassing. So if that's triggering, you can use universe, Gaia, whatever it is. But that word is, and it was a preacher that had said this phrase where, and think of it non egoically. This really helped me. So I hope it helps you. So you've got your GPS and you say, okay, GPS, this is where I want to go. Do you tell the GPS that you're standing somewhere that you're not standing? You say, oh, no, I'm 10 steps ahead of where I am. Or do you put in your current location to the GPS? We have to take our emotions out of what we're in and say, this is where I'm standing. I know exactly where I want to go. I know where I want to go, but this is where I'm standing. And fully surrender to being in what we're in. It is okay to be in the shame. It is okay to say, I'm experiencing shame right now. I'm experiencing human anxiety. I'm experiencing frustration. It is okay to do that. Like with everything that's going on with your chart, Justin, it is okay to say, man alive, I'm experiencing explosions in my life. I'm experiencing pain and frustration and past life stuff is coming up. It is okay to say that. I love that, getting grounded in the chaos. I love that. I love that. And doing what you can with the tools that you have. And it's okay, when you're first starting tarot, which, so many of us, we've been doing this for a while. When you first start tarot, you pull a card a day. When you first start journaling, one little note a day, like a captain's log. Today I feel this. Or give yourself, maybe sometimes bullet journaling can be really helpful. There is a bullet journal, like not a habit tracker, but I'm trying to paint a picture in our mind's eye. So it's like you could do one for February and you can like paint like a really pretty tree. And like I would do this around Christmas time where you paint a Christmas tree. Obviously, I have a Christmas tree tattooed on me. So paint really pretty Christmas tree and then paint a bunch of different ornaments, 31 ornaments or however many days are in the month, empty ornaments. And then every day you paint a color of how I'm feeling that day. So maybe like red is vibrant and orange is anxious and maybe blue or black is shame, and you just color them in. And so at the end of the month, it really doesn't matter. You're aware of, okay, I felt great 3/4 of the month. I felt really crappy at this time. I felt this at this time. And you can kind of observe, are there patterns? Is it around the new moon? Is it around the full moon? Is it around this? Why are we? There's another thing that's popping into my head that when you are at the juncture of I'm going from I've been reading for myself, for my friends and family, and now I want to read for someone in the outside world. Be your own first client. What would you say to yourself? Like if you were your best friend or if you were your first client and say, how do I say? So your client comes to you and says, I'm experiencing shame all the time. I'm experiencing this. I don't know what to do. Your healer, therapist, shaman, spiritual coach isn't going to be like, well, get it together, dude. Dang, like figure it out. God's not talking to you clearly. Just figure it out. You should know better than God. Yeah. You should know better than the universe. You should know by the end of the day today. That's not how you're going to talk to your client. You're going to be gracious and you're going to listen to them. I have a whole it's a digital download and lecture called Intuitive Listening when you're learning, how to hold space for others. It's can be a compendium to the work that you do, but a few different tips and tricks and tools, and reminding yourself that and it's weird when you're doing it for yourself. So this could be mirror work. If you're feeling anxious, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but when you're doing some mirror work and you're saying, "Okay, if I was, giving Sarah advice, what would I say to her? What would I say?" I wouldn't say, "Figure it out, do it better, try to play God." I would say, "Be in what you're in, and study a little bit more and educate yourself a little bit more." There's, your brain, your mind learning more, that can never be taken from you. So whenever you're at a juncture, you don't know what to do, you can always give back or you can learn. I love learning. I love giving. I love like And please, if there's anything particular that's coming up right now that you're interested in that you'd like me to focus on this week, please comment below and we can do some videos on that. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy that that's resonating. Talk to yourself like you're your own client. Really, really. Learning is my jam, so I can give back. Yes. What are you studying right now? What are you most interested in? What's really coming up for you? And follow that excitement. Follow that excitement. There's, phrases like if time or money were no object. I know we've talked about that. But if you were just getting paid to study right now, if you were getting paid to philosophize and study something really interesting and really different, that'd be pretty cool. Sink into that. And it takes the pressure off. But really saying, like, if I were my own client, what would I do? Not if I were my own best friend, because like for me and my friends, like be like, go do more sets and reps, go do this. But if you're your own first client, so many of us are stepping into this work or already holding space for others or reading for others. But really, and some of us, even if it's just stepping into like posting like a picture every day of like a tarot card that we're pulling for, or even try to step in and say, after you've done your own spread, what does the collective need to see? What does my collective need to see? I really do connect with others deeper than myself. I notice I'm being there for others. Be your own therapist, be your own counselor right now, Justin, and do some mirror work with that. I think that could be really cool to see what comes out, to see like what would be the advice that I would give Justin. You can write this if you want to, but I feel like talking it out in the mirror could be really, really like I feel like because your intuition is so deep and so there. So I was talking to God last night and I had this image. I had this image in my mind's eye where I was like, you channel for everybody, but God, I don't know what to do. And and I am not kidding. I'll say this numerous times. I'm like, I need a sign of your sign. Can I have a sign of your sign? Then the obvious sign that you just gave me instantly. Can I have a sign of your sign? Can you just text me? God. Yes, beautiful, Justin. Keep doing that. I feel like that's the homework for this week. Yes. But full on, full on. I'll be like, I need a sign. And then like a bluebird flies by. I'm like, sign of your sign. Like a direct text would be awesome. Being excited about what you're doing is so important. Find clarity and compassion for ourselves. Yes, yes. I've had to go layers deep asking, yes, 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 this is huge. And it's going, what's underneath that? What's underneath that? What's underneath that? Taking our egoic attachments away and not judging ourselves from what we're in. You're driving down the road. It's wintertime in Massachusetts. So sometimes, you're sliding off the road if it's all snowy and you've slid off the road. You don't say like, oh my God, you could have done that better. You're like, I just slid off the road. Yeah, being a little bit more factual instead of judgmental in our own situations, because we wouldn't do that for a client, we wouldn't do that for a friend. And really, I want a lot of us to if goal setting right now is too much, if it's like I don't have the clear picture, I've talked about this before. I've tagged out. I've given, my higher self, it's just like highest and greatest good. I don't know exactly what it is that I want. I don't have the clear image of it. So I have not, done scripting or manifesting for the new moons. But right now, maybe spend some time drawing it out, painting the image, what your future image looks like. That's how I've manifested homes before, apartments that I've lived in, where I just literally drew the blueprints. I was like, this is exactly what it looks like. And so I want us to really look at the universal law of comparison, which, like I said earlier, that big image that you have for yourself is only big because we have labeled it as big. Anything is accessible on this planet, and very Dr. Joe Dispenza language, which is, the universe will give you what you feel you are worthy of. That's it. The universe, it's kind of like what you focus on will expand. We talked about that with Jupiter going into Gemini. And oh my God, yeah, I made a mistake with my own with my own charts. Does that ever happen to you when you're reading astrology or tarot where you're like, oh, what? So Jupiter is retrograde right now, sitting at 11 degrees of Gemini retrograde. And to like the minute it's dipping its toe, I didn't think it was going to go back into my seventh house. I thought it was just going to stay in my eighth house, but it's in my seventh house right now. And I just, just needed to share that with you. I was like the mad scientist in my room, like 3 coffees deep, and I was like, oh, what? This is beautiful. Vision boarding for myself. Yes, lots of attention towards what I want and feeling comfortable saying no and jumping into the astrology of it all. Dude, it was wild. It was a beautiful moment. And really updating the vision board, letting it be something that's just ever changing and ever flowing. I have my vision board on like my computer screen. I'll print. I just got the printer working. Thank God. It took me three weeks, and so I could put them up on the wall. But remembering, like, you can tape the vision board pictures up on the wall because certain things will happen super duper quick. You just take it down and you put a new picture up, but don't make it so like set in stone. Let it flow and let it shift and change. And the way that Okay, so I'll share. There was an image that I had at the beginning of the month on my vision board. I'm so happy that's resonating. That it was about like the area of the world that I thought I was supposed to live, all of these different things. As many of you know, I just moved and I'm kind of in a corridor. God hasn't shown me, like the next step yet, which is very, very rare for me. Usually I'm like, this is the next door. And I open and it's a room and it's a room. Right now I'm just in a corridor and I'm just trusting to the best of my ability. I'm right there with you. So like I flounder doing this as well. So just know that I'm not preaching like, oh, just be in it. I'm studying my chart to the actual degree. And I lost my mind. I was like, Jupiter in the seventh for a few weeks. This is a great moment. I'm sorry. Thank you for being here. I was just I full on. I was like the mad scientist. Like I had like books open everywhere. I had my chart and then the chart up on the wall. I had like my journal and then my calendar, and I just was like, it worked. What? What? Play that'll get in the business part, Sharon, and got a job outside Pakistan is good. Amen. God bless you. Yes, yes, absolutely. Prayers to you. Prayers to you. We can hold that in our circle. Absolutely. And it's just, oh God, I lost my train of thought. It's gone. It's gone. This usually doesn't happen in the lives, but it happened. My apologies. Saying no, jumping into the astrology of it all. So read your own chart, study, and have fun studying, and let. Also, I'll just bear this for you. Laughter is one of the most powerful medicines that exists on this planet. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, YT Social, sending love to you. Sending love. Chaos of my whiteboard and ever changing. Yes, let that be something that let your curiosity guide you and let your curiosity be what's pulling you towards something. It's the Lewis Carroll, like if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So know that however you get to your final destination, it will be through bliss. It will be through bliss. Yes, yes, it is. And YG Social, I'm so glad that you're saying that. This was years ago or months ago, I can't remember. It was like, just pretends to laugh. Like, ha, ha, ha. And then do 4, ha, 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 ha. And then keep adding more until you're just belly laughing and rolling around. Have you ever seen someone just randomly laughing in the world and it makes you laugh? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Oh, Knight of Wands. What could this community benefit from? Chop wood, carry water. This could also be marriages and partnerships. Anything else? This community. Dude, can't see you anymore, but you've been doing the thing. Did this come up last week? Was it last week? Yes, laugh. Absolutely laugh. Absolutely laugh. This is validating all of those no's that we've been talking about. It can be a beautiful thing. Melanie, Melanie. Yes, yes, yes. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. It's gonna be gentle. It's gonna be gentle. Sometimes, we had talked about this. This was the full moon. Was it the full moon in Cancer? 2, 3, 4. Yes. This was the card for the full moon in Cancer. This is also just saying that's just a no for me. That's okay. That's okay that it's a no. If you know that it's a no, just say no. Just say no. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, with the Hierophant, this could be marriages coming. This could or legal partnerships. This could be, business partnerships, all different things. But this is also the Gemini card. So it could be I'm making big decisions. I'm learning how to say no. I love this guy. I love this guy. Where, the little where is it? The little salamanders here, they're not fully grasped like the King of Wands, where he's got a lot more to do. His boots are clean. So run into the yes. Don't run into the no. If it's a no, lean into saying no. Lean into, I'm not feeling this. And listen to your body. I talked about this a while ago. I don't remember when it was, but it was like, if this is what your face does when you get that offering, it's probably a no. I'd say a maybe is a no. And yes, avoiding sugar, it's helping. That's huge. That is huge. I love that this is here. Tons of marriage and partnerships. Focus, focus, focus. Oh, geez. Cleaning house. That's what I'm going to do today. Yeah. Sugar, honestly, it's like that used to be my trouble thing. And it was a full detox. It was a full detox. Whenever I do have sugar nowadays, it's like I make the active decision and it takes me 3 days to remove it from my system. I'll have maple syrup. I use coconut sugar for my baking. The muffins that I made the other day, those were coconut sugar, fruit sugar, maple syrup, honey, those types of things. But trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to talk to us about today. I think that's it. What questions do you have for me? Is there anything specific that I have not talked about that you're interested in that I could cover this week? We're really just continuing today. Mercury's shifting signs, going from the last degree of Capricorn into Aquarius. We have that new moon coming up. Like it's a big, potent week. So definitely do some visualizations, manifestation if it's clear. But if it's not fully clear, learn and really enjoy learning and enjoy following that like what do I want to study today, how do I want to develop my mind. This is an air season, so it doesn't have to be so much. If we don't have the community, we don't have the friendships or the wishes for the future that we want, study. Yeah, learn something new, and please let me know what you're studying, how you're doing with it. Can you tell us about social media future? Like if we want to start a social media platform. We talked a little bit about that earlier, YT Social. So if you're keen to be doing something for yourself, start today. We talked about sets and reps and kind of getting used to, and I put that in the description where it's called like playing to the empty room. Yes. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Melanie, you're doing a beautiful job. That Cap Rising stuff, it's like y'all had like a week or two, or like maybe a few weeks where it was like, oh, Pluto's left your sign. And then it's like, hit the ground running, the rubber hitting the road. It's very intense and it's beautiful. And say YT Social, if you want to be doing things on social media, start doing something now and start doing something where posting like a tarot card a day or talking about what it is that does liven you up, what you're studying. Like it can be something so simple. And we have to remember what we're interested in. This is what I'll leave you with. It took me so long to talk about channeling, to talk about aliens, to talk about interdimensional, multidimensionals, talking to angels, because I literally thought that everybody could do it. I literally thought that everybody was doing it. The same way when I was a child, I didn't talk about my imaginary friend that taught me how to bubble myself and that taught me how to do all these very spiritual things because I literally thought that everybody else was doing it. So, whatever it is that you just do naturally, that you're like, wait, you don't pull tarot cards, you don't check the planets, you don't do this, your community that needs you is looking for you. It's only because we've catered our own algorithms that we can think to ourselves like, "Oh, the whole, industry is flooded, it's oversaturated." No, 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 there's billions of people on the planet, and somebody needs what you're thinking about. Somebody needs what you wanna offer. Yes. Yes, Susanna, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I'm so excited. And it's such a leadership mentality. This is beautiful, where we must attach the dopamine to the process. We must attach the excitement to the journey because there's no end goal. When we get to a certain level, there's just another step. There's just another step. And so we have to enjoy every bit of it and enjoy making our art, creating our platform, doing our email list, all the things, all the things. Please send me, Susanna, send me an email so I can join your email list. I want to join it, please. It's so cool. It's so beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. I am so grateful for every single one of you. This Saturday is my coaching call for my membership group. I'm so excited to connect with everybody. I cannot wait. Let's dress the pot. Let's dress a little woo and just put on the crowns and have a good time. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Please send me an email. I want to join the list. And please let me know how I can best support you. This group is so supportive. I love getting together every Monday with you. Please share this with someone, invite them into the group if you think that they're interested. That's the best way to support is just liking, subscribing, and just sharing this with someone to get the cafe to be bigger and include as many people as we can that are growing and that maybe feel alone or feel like the bright light in a dark space. I'm so grateful. So, so grateful. Thank you, every single one of you. For my members, I will see you on Saturday. For everyone else, I will see you next Monday. But as always, please ask questions. Please guide me how I can best support you and enjoy this new moon. There's really tons of shifting energy right now. So we're all in this together. We're in our own arenas together, but we're supporting across time and space. So I love you all so much. I'll see you. See you next week.